No, shut up.
Hey, we're live right now.
Shut it down. Shut it down. We gotta get like a 3, 2, 1. Boop.
Nah, it's a podcast, so I just get to throw it live and try to catch you off guard. So now the thing is you may not even know that I'm live. That's the best part about this. But yeah, dude, you need to get some sleep, man. I could tell you haven't slept in ages, ever since EMG launched.
That's true. Well, when you're operating in so many different time zones, it's tough to sleep. So you just kind of get it, when you can.
Yeah, dude, it's actually kind of badass when you stop and think about it, I mean, what do you work with? I guess I'll do an intro now just because we might as well, right? This is Esports Management Group's Tumba. He actually used to be a StarCraft 2 caster. He is drinking Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. No offense to Mike's Hard Lemonade, but I'm out of Guinness, and this is all my wife has left in the house. I'm into her stash now.
So Tumba has one of those stories that's like he really worked his way into the StarCraft scene. Like, well, what did you start as a community caster, right? And they're just right, yeah.
Way before community caster, homeboy. I was casting. I started off casting like bronze and silver shit for ASCW. Before StimTV was ASCW, Amateur StarCraft Weekly, and every day they featured a different tournament. So you had bronze, silver, gold, platinum. I started casting that shit at the very bottom.
You started casting bronze. What was that? Well, I guess, ladies and gentlemen, he's going for, well, I don't know what he's going for, right? Like, there's no strategy at that level.
I'll tell you what, like, for real, bronze is the fucking best to cast, because exactly like you said, you don't know what the hell's about to happen, so it's hilarious, because it's like, okay, this guy's putting down a 12 pylon, it should have been 9, but we're just going to disregard that, and you see shit you would never see in a regular game, and when you have two horrible people playing, one doesn't know how to kill the other one, so the hilarity continues.
So at least you get to have, like, fun, but I mean, a solo cast on that would be, like...
I never solo casted.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. I've actually
man, that was money. That was a big time deal for a lot of people. Like that grew into Stim. It grew into a lot of casters' first experience with like a serious type production. I mean, it was like a job. Everybody took it very, very seriously. It was a labor of love for everybody. So.
Well, and then what's funny, Tom, is that we always talk about. I think every time we talk. Which is it's sporadically, but I think every time we talk, we always talk about that like cliche moment that we met. You remember how gay that was?
Oh, I love that.
That's such a lame story, dude. It's like the perfect scene out of a movie.
It is. I was so afraid of everybody, but excited to be there. You're like, wow, this guy's pumped. Like this guy's.
Well, no. Okay, so listen, what event was it? Tumba, what was it? Orlando.
Orlando.
So we're at Orlando 2011, right?
Yeah.
So we're at Orlando 2011, and as everyone knows, in 2011, that's when like StarCraft kind of came in and was like, hey, by the way, Halo, stiff arm to the side of the stage, right? And so...
I'm so sorry, man.
It's all good, buddy. So then what happened was they needed more casters. So MLG did this like outreach program thing kind of, and they reached out to various people, and they brought people out to cast at Orlando, and Tumble was one of them, right? So I'm sitting there, I'm casting Halo. And I see this guy he's in a leather jacket, and underneath he's got like a button up and a blazer, and he's sitting there all fucking giddy, right? He's like, oh my god, and I'm like, and he day 9 walks by, and like the man freezes, and I'm like, what's going on right now? Like, is this?
It's so true.
Is this real life?
I can't deny any of this.
And so I just walk up to him like, hey man, I'm Scott. Nice to meet you, man. What's your name? And he's like, oh, I'm Tumba. Or Toby. Well, whatever you want to call me. And I'm like, all right, dude. What is this? Your first event casting? He's like, yeah. Really pumped to be here. StarCraft 2. And I'm like, all right, man. Well, have you ever casted live before? And he's like, no. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to give you one tip, and the only tip is have fun, and the viewer's going to have fun, but if you go up there and you're nervous, then they're just going to hate you.
Exactly, and I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, that was so cliche, man.
No, but
and you were with your girlfriend at the time, who's now your wife, right? Yeah, Lily was just your girlfriend back then.
Yeah, Lily was my girlfriend back then, and now wife. lot of great things happened. Yeah, that was the start of our friendship, and I was just happy to have this is a true story, too, that I think you know, but I was just happy to have somebody that didn't cast StarCraft as my friend. Like, I really thought that the Halo guys hated us.
Oh, we did. I mean, it did.
Yeah, well, you really didn't, though. I mean, you'd like to pretend that you did, but then all of a sudden, like, Nexi and you, and, talking to a lot of the other guys around the production area, and, Ben and the guys, and became, fast friends with a lot of people at MLG. And, I was an older guy, right? So I didn't have a lot of give a shit in me on the stream because I'm like, well, if I get a Reddit thread that hates me, who cares? Like, I'm 30-some years old and I own a strip club. What do I care? Like, why would I possibly care? But I did have fun with it, and your advice was fantastic. Yeah. I remember watching a lot of the stuff you did. Like, you would do the daily recaps. I remember what.
Yeah, like with the like back porn star lighting in the back, right? Yeah. Like they put like one light, and I would like sit on a couch or like a crate, and they'd be like, "Give us the recap," and I was like, "All right, thanks."
They'd like catch you on the way back, like walking through the crowd on the way back to wherever you were going, and you were like. They did it like on the spot, and you're like, but what transferred with you so well on the camera was the fact that you were so sincere with everything.
Yeah.
And I said that's when I was still trying to perfect my craft, because remember, I was doing this for fun. I wasn't trying to make any money casting or anything like that.
Not at all.
I had the bigger business plan in play, but, I was excited to be there, and I did want to do well while I was there. So I really watched how sincere you were, and I think that's one of the things I definitely copied and stole from you was just be sincere and be fun. And it made casting a lot of fun for me.
It's better, dude, when you're just being honest with people, when you're just like, this play is just dumb, Or like...
I'll tell you what, in StarCraft needed more of that. Like, it needed more candid...
Well, that's kind of what Tastosis do, right? They're kind of like, there's no way in hell that this guy's going to win.
They can get away with it because they're on just another level, period.
Well, from everyone.
Yeah, from everyone. But they get away with it because of who they are. They can call that out. If I call somebody out for that, they're going to be like, oh, well, you're a shitty player anyway. Who are you to say this kind of thing? Because StarCraft players are rarely... At the time, it was a real old boys club, and we were the freshman faces. But what's funny is, Gandhi, think about the freshman StarCraft people and think about where they are now. The freshman class of StarCraft...
You got what? You got Clutch, Robin,
me, Adebisi...
This is like the most vague statement I can say. Who's that Asian? The Asian caster.
Froden.
I couldn't remember it for the life of me. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so
okay.
There's 7. Well, Kibbles really wasn't freshman class. I brought him into when I started producing the beta streams, I started recommending people for it. We brought him in later. But that freshman class, now look where everybody is. I started my own esports management company with Brian Ball,
which we're going to get into.
Agent on the planet. Adebisi's over at the Good Studio now, and he's obsing every major game. Robin just got hired by Blizzard. Axel Toss got hired by MLG. So we all are still in esports. We're all working full-time in esports. So that was a proud moment in my life. I think we had like the NSYNC or the like Mickey Mouse Club of...
Oh, my... Do you remember that cheers you guys did? Tell me you remember the cheers. All right, so it's me... What? It's me and Best Man hanging out, and we're at the, this was at Dallas, I think.
This was in Columbus, I think.
Yep, it was Columbus, because we were out at the fire pit, right?
At the fire pit,
and so, this freshman class, right, gets up there, and, like, Froden's giving, like, a toast, and they all have their beers, and Froden's like, to the best video game ever, man, and they're like, yeah!
All right, can we get into this now? This part of the situation. So let's talk about the best video game, because
no, we're not talking about the best video game. That's
because I kind of feel like what happened to Halo kind of starting to happen to StarCraft with League of Legends on the scene. Like,
right?
It's like, oh, hold on a second. How long are you going to stay at main stage? It's different though, like 2 totally different types of fans, and obviously I represent people across all the games. I represent people in League. I represent people in Halo, I represent people in Call of Duty, and I represent people in StarCraft. So, and I love them all for their own reasons. Let me break this down for you. Why was I not a big Halo head? Well, that is very fucking simple. Because I would spawn, take 2 steps, and die every time because I am so bad at the game.
Yeah, you're mechanically not there.
I'm retarded.
Yeah, that's a lot of people's problem, though.
See, but with a game like StarCraft, I can blame balance. I did everything perfect. the only reason I lost was because Blizzard doesn't know shit about balance, when that is not the case whatsoever. But at least I can blame that.
Yeah, you don't. That's the big thing with FPS is that a lot of people it kind of gets away from if it's like, especially when it's like a 1v1 setting or like a free-for-all, like, people have to blame the game. They're like, oh, well, if I didn't get that spawn at the 3rd minute mark, then this would have all been fine. But really, it comes down to, like, your decision-making, right? And it's the same thing as StarCraft, too. And it's so funny when you, like, when StarCraft came over, they were like, oh, how do you even cast FPS? How many times did we hear this together? You know, everyone was like, how do you even cast FPS? Oh, well, he shot the gun. It's like, God, how is that really how your mind works? Like, that's... You can't even wrap your mind around like a concept of how like how to cast it. Like obviously positioning's a factor.
Well, so what I learned to appreciate about casting Halo is there's a lot of backstory on the different teams and the players, right? That's fantastic. But also,
that's like casting 101 though, you know?
Yeah, well, also, but there's like for new people that might not know or soon to be Halo fans or FPS fans, I should say, and we'll get into Halo in a minute in Microsoft, but. I feel like the maps are every bit as important, if not more so, than StarCraft 2, because you have to know what's going on the map, where they're going, where they're gravitating to, and why they're doing all of this. And that's hard, man, because it's so super ultra fast. Like, we know builds, okay? So in StarCraft, we can call a build, we can call what's going to happen. We actually know what's going to happen in the game well before it ever does. Whereas in FPS, you don't. It's more like a basketball game where, it's so much fast pace up, back and forth. It's a lot different. So
yeah, but we're not rigging the games for the Lakers to win,
Right.
God, what a shit show that is. But Tumba, I want to get into like the nitty gritty. I want to get into why you're here. So for those,
why am I here?
Esports MG, man. I wanted to kick off the show right. So. Now, for those of you who have no idea who Tumba is, one, you clearly know that he was in the StarCraft scene, but now Tumba has launched. Just give the spiel with Esports MG, Esports Management Group. Just go ahead and give the overview, and then we'll get into it a little bit.
Okay, the 30,000-foot view. So the overview is from 30,000 feet. It's really simple. It's like any other sports agency for conventional sports. However, we have a niche, and that niche is esports. We help to manage players and teams, organizations, leagues, and across the gamut for different games, different titles, different publishers, things like that. And, we deal with different sorts of management, most of it, of course, on the fiscal level, diversifying portfolios, trying to get many of the top-tier talent extended through as much positive fiscal movement as we can get. And a lot of that is introducing esports to people that might not know what esports is. A lot of it is working with endemics to sort of do some things we felt were obvious that weren't being done. And most importantly, the reason I launched the agency was to protect the players. And I saw the need because I saw players were it's a knife to a gunfight, right, with players and companies, even certain teams and companies. They have no chance. And I remember one of the things that really solidified, yes, I'm going to do this, was when Stefano broke a contract with, I think it was Complexity. And it was a shit show the whole way. Like they can't, it's not worth suing over, right? Because there's not enough money, but it should have still been honored and, all this stuff. And I'm not saying one side was bad or not. I don't know enough about it. But I remember it being like, okay, well, if there was an agent here to broker this deal, this would have never happened. So that's why I got the idea to really launch EMG full force.
And I mean, you are the Tastosis representative, or you represent Tastosis, I guess is how you would word it.
Yeah, they're clients. Yeah, I manage Tastosis. They're solid. They're good clients.
Now, I don't envy you at all because what is the time zone difference from East Coast to Korea?
13 hours. So
and I mean, not to like kind of like shit on everyone else, but those are kind of like your prize. That's your prize, right? Like those are your prize clients.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if we're going to be having an honest conversation, and I'm sure you'd agree because you love candid conversations.
Yeah.
Nick and Dan are sort of light years ahead of a lot of personalities, and they sacrificed a lot to get there, and they have a certain chemistry that can't be duplicated. And I'm not saying that other casters can't get to where they are or they're not as good. Everyone's good in their own right. They just have something special. It's not everybody can have that something special, and they have that great chemistry. And it's hard to find people in esports that can get in front of a camera and talk and sound articulate or even funny.
Yeah.
And those people are diamonds in the rough. So,
So, so your sleeping schedule's what? What do you get, 3 hours of sleep? You sleep from like 12 to fucking 3 a.m. and then you get up and have a cup of coffee and you get on a Skype call with them?
Yeah, it's a disaster. My sleeping, so I got wife, 2 kids, and a dog, and an ex-wife. So you can imagine that my sleeping schedule is like zero, especially trying to play games too in the midst of all this. And so my typical days, I hit all the time zones for at least a little bit, East Coast, West Coast, and then Korea, maybe a little bit time in EU as well. But it's definitely a sacrifice on the sleeping end for sure.
Now when you're sitting there and like I just don't, like, I gotta think, like, when you first started, and well, actually even still, because the general public's fucking retarded, right? Like, they have no clue. Like, they barely, like, 5 years ago, they just, like, women just started wrapping their minds around football, right? And now, like, every woman's a football fan, right? Like, that's the general public. And, you're kind of pitching esports to everyone. Like, how fucking awful is that? Do they even understand what you're saying when you say esports? Or are they
I really don't want to disappoint you here, because I know you want some funny stories.
I definitely do. I'm expecting, like...
Well, I don't want to disappoint you, but I have to tell you. So here's the thing, and this is what's great about my partner. So Brian has just a fantastic relationship with so many companies.
Brian, give the lowdown on Brian.
Yeah, okay, so of course.
So, Brian, you can't talk about your partner and then, right. What are you going to do here, man? You're just trying to just drop Brian like, oh yeah, my partner.
No. I was actually getting ready to say how godly the guy is.
I know you love the guy.
I do. I have a fascination with him, actually. He's
weird.
I've known about Brian for a long time. We both came out of a golf and poker background. He was better at both than I was. But Brian did a fantastic job.
So you guys basically met through gambling.
Yeah.
Illegally.
Right. Well, it wasn't illegal at the time. Hey, America, the land of the free, we're still the only one that you can't play internet poker. Are you kidding me? Come on. It's a joke.
No, it's...
But, and poker is a skill game. So
and prostitution.
That's not even... Look, poker being a skill game isn't even an argument. But
you're gonna go there, huh?
Well, it's not...
It's just pot odds.
There you go.
That's all it really is when you get down to it.
All right, we can get into that, but let's give Brian his due. So, essentially, Brian opened the very first poker agency, and he represented professional poker players. A very risky thing to do at the time, 2003. And a lot of the growing pains that poker went through, we're seeing exactly go through in esports going through rather right now. So, he was very familiar with a lot of the things that I was identifying as potential to grow the scene. And, he has seen this movie before, as they say, and he has just been a wealth of information, advice, and a fantastic mentor to myself. There's nobody else I would have done it with. If he would have said no, then it probably would not have happened.
And you would be, casting at... obviously not MLGs anymore.
No, the casting thing was just because I took a year away from the club and didn't want to, I was fortunate enough that I could be able to do whatever I wanted, and decided to take a year and just cast for fun. So, but who knows? But luckily, we saw eye to eye and we were able to do this together. And essentially, Brian has contributed not only time and knowledge, but he is a sincere believer in preaching the gospel of esports to these companies like we were talking about. So what makes it easy is when he goes into a company and says esports, and they're like, don't know what it is, but want to hear more because you're telling it to me. So, he's got such a great relationship with these companies that's the big thing, is we can walk in the door knowing they're going to listen. And that is such a huge barrier to entry.
Shit.
It is.
Like, that erases any bit of funny stories possible.
Yeah, I'm sorry to do that. Let me think.
No, you got nothing now. You have your foot in the door with this guy. Like, that's... it's
that's why I partnered with him.
Obviously, it's the smartest thing you can do.
Well, it would have been much easier to get in touch with these companies. And then once the companies, were on board to listen, then the onus is on us to pitch esports correctly. Is that my face in the Skype chat right now? How did somebody do that?
Wait, what?
Look in Skype chat.
Skype chat?
I mean not Skype chat. Look in the chat for your stream.
What did you do?
Nothing. This Stay True guy put my face in the thing. I want to know how he did that. That's awesome.
I have no idea what you're talking about, bud. I don't see a damn thing.
Did I have one too many of these?
You're drinking a Mike's Hard Lemonade. There's no way.
It so looks like me. Oh, wait. This is a picture of a fat kid. Never mind.
No, I thought you were talking about a link. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
Anyway, moving forward.
I guess it kind of looks like you.
Moving forward.
It's kind of like, whatever, dude. You done fucked me up there. I was expecting like a funny picture, like someone took your face and
it's funny. It's
and they cropped it next to like, you know who you remember that band back, oh god, it was like 1990, In Together Now. It was like an MTV show. It's like Chris Farley's brother.
No.
You look like Chris Farley's brother.
Kind of. I feel like Chris Farley's brother, but
I think you could be it. I think that's.
Passed.
But so you know, you get your foot in the door now with Brian. So you guys, so you're pitching now. Like, you know, obviously, you know, like what is the buzz, right? Like, since you have your foot in the door, what's like the professional gaming buzz? Is it like, because you know, Halo's on like a much fucking smaller scale than like StarCraft and StarCraft's.
It doesn't have.
It's still like
it pisses me off, but we're gonna get to that later. Go ahead.
It doesn't. And StarCraft isn't like necessarily. I mean, viewer-wise, it's on a smaller scale than League of Legends, but like it's still like on the same platform, right? Like no one's gonna be like, oh, League of Legends is so far above, you know, StarCraft 2, right? Like obviously, I mean, you can compare numbers, but then it's like Brood War guys just kind of come in there and they go fuck yourself, right? But you know, like, what's the buzz? Are companies like eating it up? Do they want a piece of this?
Of course. I mean, Of course they do. It's the buzz is the fact that everybody plays video games now, or knows somebody that does. So it's relatable in that fashion. The key is to relate it in some other, and we have some initiatives that will be coming through in toward the end of next month that are going to help to do this. But the key is really to gain a few more examples and allow people to relate even easier and link it more to the regular sports mentality. Now, where esports is not near a what I would consider a conventional sport, it's only a title, right? And at the bottom line is the title conveys competition, and that's what it's about, competitiveness. Yeah. Everybody can relate to that. But the more examples we can give how this looks like normal sports from a competitive aspect, how there's great moments, sad moments, moments where the underdog wins, you know, the more we can illustrate that, the better the company response is. And we've gotten pretty good at, if I do say so myself, at I think articulating the what esports is.
So they eat all that little shit up, huh?
What's that?
And they eat up the underdog winning. Well, then tell me this, Tumba. Tell me this right now. I was an underdog in 2006, and I won a national championship, and I didn't get a goddamn thing.
All right.
So you can take that. You can take that underdog cliche story and shove it up your ass, because I think you're full of shit.
Okay. Well, the underdog I was more talking about, not esports as an underdog in and of itself. I mean, it has relatable stories.
No, that's what I'm saying.
An underdog. And, okay, so
I was the underdog.
We are on the same page. So, well, here you can chalk that up to bad timing, brother. There's a lot of people that played football before the NFL was what it is today that didn't get shit either. So, you know.
God, is that really it? Like, I'm gonna be that fucking.
You should have been born, you know, 6 years later, and then who knows?
Well, dude, if I got born 6 years later, I'd probably wouldn't have played Halo 1, and I would have probably thought like Halo Reach was the best game ever, and fucking
But I mean, again, it goes back to like you, for example. You have a quality that is very equitable in esports, which is you have the ability to get in front of a camera and speak and be candid and carry a show, or you can go in live broadcast. You've got, you know, that experience behind you as well, and it's going to be a no bullshit thing with you, which is great that you can go ahead and convey your no bullshit stance. It's not going to be fluff, and you know people eat that stuff up.
Some say, but so companies are eating it up, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
what's the best deal right now, right? Like, what's like the biggest deal you just solidified? I mean, you guys just locked up what? 2 deals today, right?
I mean, I can't announce the big deal yet. Right. But White Raw's got a fantastic deal coming up here shortly that will be announced soon. which is really, really good.
Who the hell
and
is
there's
that?
a lot that aren't. So then people are like, well, okay, what do you have in the pipe outside of this, the normal endemics? And when we start talking about that, you start talking about bigger budget and even bigger projects. So those things take a lot of time, obviously, because there's a lot of coordinated effort that needs to go into it from everybody, bigger budget, more money, and those are super exciting as well. So, but yeah, I mean, right now, it's between Tastosis or White Raw for probably the most lucrative deal at the moment. And they're both super good. I have to give it to probably Tastosis, actually, but
who is White Raw? Why is you're saying his name like I understand?
Yeah, I'm sorry. So White Raw is an old school StarCraft 2 player. So he's in his late 30s. He's known for
he's older than you.
English. Yeah, I mean he's got.
Wait, was he that dude who used to just run around MLGs and he was like wild? And you know what I mean by wild?
No,
come on.
I'm dead serious. He likes to drink, but
yeah,
he's
crazy dude.
I wouldn't say crazy, but he likes to have a good time. But he wasn't crazy. I mean, he always has the right words for the moment. Like, we'll all say something, and he was at a table, and this is back as far as Orlando, and he's like, "Good people, good drink, good time." And it's like, yeah, like when you're drunk, like that sounds the best. That's exactly, you know what I mean? Good people, good drink, good time, good conversation. Like he's always got the best thing to say. And
the worst thing I've ever heard.
No, well, maybe you had to be there. I don't know. It's just broken English.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you got to be drunk to hang out with people from other countries. Because then everything they say is, like, hilarious.
Now, see, you're with me. Boom.
Yeah.
Bring it right back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the trick is to be patient, I think, for a lot of the clients. Like, White Raw was extremely patient. Like, he didn't hear a thing for, 6 or 7 months while we were working for him, but he also, he knew we'd get there, and we did. And I keep saying it, and a lot of people don't realize it's not overnight that it happens, and it's a lot of hard work. It's like anything else, but, with the right amount of patience and the right expectations, it should all work out good across all games. So, the goal is to get something to where we can feature FPS in the way it should be. I think a step in the right direction, and don't hate me for saying this, but was the Call of Duty Championships recently in LA.
Did you tune into that?
Of course I did.
Yeah, fucking sell out.
Well, I'm sorry, man. What do you want me to do? Like, I do.
Yeah, I mean, it is your job to represent people, huh?
Right, and, we got Golden Boy on the roster, so I'm always, checking into everything, and I really like what Fliz did casting-wise in the finals. I didn't know much about watching that particular game, but he got me through it as a rookie. I think they really need to do a better job of getting idiots like me to be able to understand the game with less effort. Like, I don't want to feel like I have to have Google open.
Well, dude, it's Call of Duty, man. Like, how intricate do you think it's... What you're seeing is, I mean, you have the strategy and you have that mini-map. I mean, you have a spectator mode, which I can't even get in fucking Halo 4, but I mean, you have this...
Can we talk about that for a second?
Oh, of course, absolutely. But no, what I'm saying is it's like, the main thing with like FPS titles, just for like a noob's understanding here, the main thing with FPS titles is, it is a game of positioning and it's a game of angles. Everything else is like the teamwork and the objective and shit like that, right? But like when you're watching it, just you should, like, if you're watching to get better, you're watching to see like where they're at on the map and then like where they're looking, and that's how you get better, right? Because it's all muscle memory to them, right? Like, they go through an alleyway, they know that the other team's probably going to be coming from the right. They're going to be looking right. They know they're not just looking right for no fucking reason. And that's where like a lot of people like kind of getting all fucking confused, and that's why I think like League of Legends, it's easy for people to get into it, right? Because you got that bird's eye view on the mini-map, and you're like, oh, okay, so you got a guy up top, and guy in the middle, and guy floating around the fucking jungle, and two in the bottom, right? Like, that's, you played League of Legends, we used to play all the time, right? Like, that was very easy for you to segue into, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just similar, dude. You're watching, when you watch FPS, you're looking at it to see it's a game of position and angles, and then on the professional level, it's, where they're setting up, where they're pushing to, all that shit. But yeah, let's go ahead, Tumba. Let's fucking talk about spectator mode. I would love to talk about some spectator mode.
Well, I was really upset with Microsoft to the nth degree. I mean, we sat in Anaheim.
Dude, I just talked about this the other day
with Kevin Franklin, and I had to hold you down because you were so passionate about giving them the playbook. And let's face it, I mean, you've done work for a certain monitor company. I'm not going to mention them. Thank you, but you know,
man, what's funny is I saw that monitor get released, and I was like. It's like
you handed them the keys to the next generation monitor and didn't get a dime.
And what's funny is that MLG's fucking swooped in and they're like their brand of the monitor, right? And I was like,
that's all right. We can let them do that.
I was like, all right, well, you know.
And that's why we have agents, right? So that doesn't happen. But you know, so
what a shit. What a shitty... go fuck yourself, man. I know what you're going to say. I told you not to do it, Scott. Well, you know what, man?
No, it's fine. Literally, it's okay. But what I want to talk about is like the observer mode and everything else with Halo. Now, what disappointed me was if you're going to come to an event and ask questions, don't come to MF in Anaheim. I'm going to try to censor myself. I don't want to start swearing. Don't come to Anaheim. Where were you at Raleigh the year before when you could have taken the advice and implemented it? And I can't believe that they didn't see the observer mode coming from Call of Duty. By the way,
oh my God, do you remember?
Thank you to Call of Duty for, I don't care how many who if you hate the game or not, two things: observer mode because it's great for esports and it's great for showcasing these talented young individuals, as well as the Call of Duty Endowment, which is for veterans of the United States military that need help in job placement and other things. Two very great initiatives done by that company. And, you know, it's not something that Halo couldn't have done.
Oh,
MLG was built on Halo. I couldn't have had StarCraft without Halo. I said this on one of your other shows a year ago.
When that was relevant.
When it was relevant, right. But still, I mean, I think the overarching point here is the fact that how badly did they drop the ball to where they have to feature MF and Call of Duty on Xbox Live? They have to feature another game, another FPS for that tournament and sponsor that tournament when they could have done it for Halo.
Dude, anybody? I don't think anyone fucking understands, dude. And I know you're trying to not swear, but you feel fucking free, right? But, dude, the big thing is, like, you remember, like, we were sitting down there. I literally talked about this the other day. I was using, like, beer bottles to explain them spawns and shit. Remember that? And right. You were like, Scott, you got to calm down. I was like, I can't. This guy doesn't fucking get it. And you know what I found out, Tumba? You're going to shit your pants when you hear this. Guess where Kevin Franklin comes from? Guess what game, like, his background gaming comes from?
Well, I'm not trying to hate on Kevin because...
I will. Okay. I think it's Need for Speed. He's coming from a fucking racing game, and that's the guy designing the multiplayer.
No.
Fucking hand to God, man. It's unbelievable. You can check it at LinkedIn. It's either Gran Turismo or Need for Speed. I don't know, something out there, dude. It's wild. But dude, like, I just don't understand. Like, I know you weren't at E3, but I was at E3. Like, I remember, yeah. Yeah, I was helping out MLG, right? And literally, you couldn't, like, any game that was coming out, like, right across the booth, there was this weird game, like, dragons. And you know me, I'm not the most PC-savvy guy, but there's, like, dragons and shit. And then they looked across, and they saw the MLG booth, and they were like, oh, yeah, we got to put PvP in the first patch because we need to be tailored to esports. And literally, the whole buzz of E3, literally, everywhere you went, even I even heard people in the Nintendo side talking about it. The whole buzz was professional gaming, like, and it's like the only two studios who haven't picked up on the fact that it's all about esports is literally Epic with Gears of War and 343 with Halo. Like, they're like the only ones, and they don't understand that, like, the competitive scene is literally skyrocketing. I just don't think they get it. But, like, they came there. I remember you asked the question. It was you. You went to Kevin Franklin and you said, well, yeah, I'm an agent, blah, blah, blah. I represent Scott. What I think the most important thing, because I come from a StarCraft background, is that you have to have a spectator mode. And he goes, oh, well, it's too late.
Yeah, just like that. Well, it wasn't just like it's dead. Like, to me, you never tell me an idea is dead because is bullshit. With enough hard work and enough drive, you get it done. And when you have that much money, I'm sorry, you can get it done. So, it's disappointing to hear that kind of attitude. Actually, what I told him also was, it has to, forget the spectator mode. I'm like, that's an obvious. You have to have it be able to stream to Twitch like that. Press a button, stream. That easy.
You think so? You think that's a necessity?
Of course. Absolutely.
Just because it cuts down the cost on like the equipment of like getting like a black magic intensity or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, well, if the ability can be integrated into the system to stream, which it can, it should be. Because, streaming is a whole new way that we sort of, I'm going to say, devour our media, because we don't just, consume on a regular basis anymore, or devour it, right? Because, like, I can get whatever I want on a stream. I'm not relegated to flipping the channel like I used to be. What do I want? Instant gratification. I see it now. For most cases. I resubscribed to HBO because I wanted to watch Game of Thrones. It's literally the only thing on HBO I watch that I can't stream, and I refuse to steal it. I don't know why. I probably should, just to send a message to HBO like everybody else. But I feel like I want to support the show because it's fantastic.
Well, dude, that's like the most pirated show of them all.
It is, and that's
you know what's cool?
They've talked about that.
Yeah, you know what's cool about Game of Thrones, or that's like kind of scary for like Game of Thrones fanatics, is that the guy, the author, is getting so old that like people are starting to worry that like he may die before he finishes the series. And like, can you imagine? Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he has Cliff Notes all the way out, maybe for somebody to pick it up like Lucas. George Lucas could finish that off for him, no problem.
Yeah, dude, come on, dude. That would literally soil the series, and you know that.
Oh, that was a total joke. But so yeah, I mean, it's
that would suck.
I think a necessity to be able to stream through a console.
But I mean, I think even still, if you're not going to have the ability to stream in, I mean, Blackmagic Intensity Pro was like, I think it's like $180, right? And you got
that's all well and good.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, like, I mean, you can get around that, but like that's spectator mode for, like, dude.
I told you that's a given. Like, if you don't,
you gotta have that. Like, it's
like if you don't have spectator mode, then why are you even making the game? Yeah, honestly, it's not a competitive game. Just make campaign and don't even have a 1v1.
Well, yeah. Well, let me. I talked about this the other day. Is the simple fact that, like, when you look at like League of Legends and StarCraft 2 and now Call of Duty, I mean, with that spectator mode, like Tastosis, Day 9, Apollo, these players sell fucking copies because they stream every day pro matches. They sell copies daily, and
well, not only that, but now you're looking at a position of just what you said, right? People want to know where they are. I mean. That's it right there. You said it. They sell copies, and that means a lot to these companies.
Period. And the thing that's crazy, and I mean, like, Blizzard obviously understands that, and obviously Riot understands it, right? Like, that's like their whole thing. But like companies like 343, you gotta understand, like, if they give us that spectator mode and we get it all interesting, we get all intricate with it and all that bullshit, like, we're basically working for them for free because they're like outsourcing the product to us and we're selling it, right?
I don't know what that free word is. I don't even know what that means.
What?
You just said working for free. I don't even know what that means.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, essentially for them, it's working for free.
I can't understand that sentence. But yeah,
we're working,
I get it, right?
We're working indirectly for them to help them out.
There's things starting to change in that regard too, as well. So,
not in my scene.
Should people be should people be compensated for selling copies? Of course they should be compensated for selling copies. Are you kidding me? That's an easy one. Like, come on. But yeah, another reason why streaming should be incorporated into the game is obvious. It's making the game popular. I mean, are you kidding me? It's free advertising.
Free. And dude, I mean, Tumba, you've been around to all these tournaments now. Like, you've seen like how important it is. Like, developer-run tournaments are it. Like, leagues are cool. Leagues are cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're okay. Like GSL's like the exception, right? Because they're in a whole nother fucking world, right? And like same with OGN. Like, that's a whole different world. But like for other games like the COD Championships and like Riot throwing like LOL Worlds, like those developer ran tournaments, like it's like a guarantee they're shattering streaming records, right? Like
Yeah, it's good.
I just
But I
don't.
mean, if you take StarCraft for example, and I don't know if this would apply as much to Halo, so forgive me. And in case anybody doesn't know, I have ridiculous love for the Halo community. Even when signing, DMAC and Gandhi, not even knowing where I was going to go with them or what I was going to do. I just knew we were going to do
Still
something.
don't, huh?
Right, yeah. No. We've got some ideas. But it's about being, like I said, it's about waiting for that right opportunity, the
naturally.
right opportunity, the good one. And that means sometimes you got to say no to a lot of things. But, having said all that, I look at StarCraft and I think, wow, this Blizzard WCS really is taking a lot of flack. Like, this does not seem very well thought out.
They outsourced everything to MLG, didn't they?
No, not at all.
Well, they're like, I thought MLG and Blizzard, like, I thought they were like partnered.
No, they actually bought IPL. So when IPL was for sale,
Wait, MLG did or Blizzard did?
Blizzard did.
So is that like direct competition now with MLG?
No. So when they bought, we bid on it. We were going to put in a bid on IPL. So we contacted them to get negotiations started, but they obviously wanted to go with Blizzard, I think even on their end, because it made the most sense for them. Whereas, anybody else may have threatened to go in and gut it and start over and, just buy the name. But I think it was smart that Blizzard did buy it for certain reasons. And my point is this. Developer-run tournaments, they're great. I mean, Blizzard, it's all going to be forgotten at the finals because the finals are going to be at BlizzCon. They're going to be epic, and that's awesome. But what I think is, and I just made this comparison on another show recently, developer tournaments are fine and good, but I also feel like the leagues need their due. And I think at the end of the day, there's room not only for both. StarCraft was worried about an oversaturation of tournaments. Rather, Blizzard was worried about an oversaturation of tournaments. This is crazy to me. Don't get involved in trying to unify stuff and organize things, because this is what happens. Now you're getting bad press because everyone's blaming you for not running the thing right. It's too complicated, this, that, and the other. And the tournament scene will find its own level. But my point is, I think that there's room for not just developer tournaments, Scott, but for grassroots tournaments as well as league tournaments. And here's how I view it. I view it a lot like the PGA Tour, a lot like golf. And if you look at it, you see the four majors. You've got the Masters, the U.S. Open, the British Open, and the PGA Tour and the PGA Tour Championship, right?
Well, those run on a ranking scale like together though, right? Like they all work together, right?
No, they're all independent.
Wow.
They are all independent. So you've got four major tournaments. So let's just take StarCraft for example. You can have a Blizzard event, and that's like the PGA Tour Championship. You can have a U.S. Open, which would be MLG. You can have British Open, which would be DreamHack, and then, or no offense to ESL or anything, whoever, fight amongst yourselves over there, and ASL. Hey,
this is America. We ain't worried about them goddamn communists out there.
America. Hey, we'll come spread democracy everywhere. North Korea, you need you some democracy?
Aye, kicking indoors since 1970.
Right, damn straight. So anyway, but that's how I see it. Is you can break it down, still have great events, and it doesn't have to be developer controlled.
Yeah, for sure. But I think, no. I think that the point I was trying to get at is like, there's nothing more reassuring and there's nothing better to just bring people into the scene than the developer, because obviously the developer is going to have more followers than like everyone who's in the scene, right? Just because every casual is going to follow them too. If they announce they throw up like a flyer, like when you go online, like, hey, we're hosting this tournament, there's $50,000 on the line, here's the Twitch link, right? Bam. People are going to fucking tune into that. Whereas, that's just like, so like, like the COD Championships, Microsoft pushed them, Call of Duty.
Let me ask you this, though. Can't a developer push other tournaments? I mean, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with the developer? Just like, and they do it now, right? When you signed into the game, the first thing you saw on Blizzard UI was DreamHack, tune in here. You could click it and open the link. That's gorgeous. That's what we need.
Yeah.
And MF and here I go again. Microsoft had all this stuff, man. They had the whole roadmap to success. Didn't even realize it. They have all this capability. They've got the network. They've got it all. When people sign into Xbox Live, boom. Hey, Halo Championship. Yeah, I want to watch that. Boom, opens up in the Twitch browser. I mean, let's go.
They just, it's over 'em, man. They don't care. They care more about, connects and shit.
Yeah, I mean, shovelware bullshit. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I have 2 connects, by the way.
Yeah, of course you do. You probably have the ski version, too.
Well, 2 kids, man. 2
yeah,
kids.
I hear.
I got the.
Can't you play like Angry Birds on that shit now too? Like you can fucking.
Can you?
I think you can. Or that may have went out to the Wii. I don't know. It's one of those things. I think so.
He just got the new one. I just bought him today. I just bought him. What's it called? Skylanders. John, have you seen this shit?
No. What the hell is that?
Holy shit! So you first of all, it's the best game I've ever seen by Activision. It's the greatest. These guys are fucking brilliant. And I'd love to know how much money I've spent on Blizzard Activision. So first you buy this thing, it's called a Portal, and you hook it up to your gaming system, whether it's a Wii or an Xbox. I think they have it for Xbox, PlayStation. I'm assuming they have it for all 3. You hook this thing up, this Portal, and then they sell individual action figures. And Google it. And then you stick the action figure on the Portal, and he teleports into the game. So the Portal lights up, and it recognizes the little barcode. Now they're not just selling the game, they're selling the different action figures.
Fucking geniuses, dude. Because every parent wants... Dude, you know what that is? You realize exactly what the fuck that is, don't you? That's them looking at League of Legends and going, champion skins. Yeah. Sell fucking characters, huh? That's what it is. They're selling characters. That's brilliant.
Smart, because that's exactly what it is.
Brilliant.
Exactly. And now I'm thinking, I want like an adult version of this. I want Gandhi on my team in Halo. Let me buy the little Gandhi guy. Bloop, bloop. He can go in and talk shit on everybody, and T2, look at me.
And then out comes fucking D-Mac like fucking stoned out of his mind and just like walking around,
falling down on the battlefield. That's great. It's fantastic. He could be a distraction times 10 plus 10 power to distraction.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
God, all those things just are just not. They're just not worth it.
Well, all I know is when I saw this whole situation, I was like, "This is actually brilliant. This is actually." Yeah. You're so right about. They looked at the LOL skins and they said we're gonna, because every kid loves action figures. Mm-hmm. Let's not lie. Every boy
I still would get like an action figure or something if I really liked it. I got a Master Chief upstairs.
Dude, exactly. Like there's certain ones that to this day, you're right. If it was cool enough, I'd get it. But at that age, I mean, picture being 5 years old and being like, I'm going to put this toy into the TV and be able to play it. Like, what? Like, you remember how we all heard our stories growing up? Yeah, you kids have it so easy nowadays. I used to walk uphill both ways to school in 7 feet of snow in July. It's like, what?
Yeah, what the fuck?
July, 7 feet of snow, uphill both ways. You're just...
What happened to global warming?
I'm like, take a different way to school. How could you walk uphill both ways? So, but we all heard this. But now I'm thinking, like, my son can't even appreciate this. Like, I started on Pong. Yeah. I had a Commodore 64. I had a Commodore VIC-20. Like, kids don't even... What? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, dude, that's already happening. It's already happening in, like, today's game, right? Like, these new players to the Halo scene, they're like... I was telling them they're spoiled because when I started off in Halo 1, there was no Xbox fucking Live. Like, I had to go through my computer to find games, right? And, like, the latency, bare minimum, was, like, 64 ms. And you're like,
oh, my God.
Shit. Like, it's laggy, right? But the big thing for, like, competitive play is, like, everyone fucking streams. Like, you have no excuse to suck at a game anymore.
Right?
Like, that's the worst. That's the worst thing for people like me and you, Tumba, because we have no fucking excuse to suck. Like, everything's right out in front of us.
Dude, even Diablo. Like, Diablo 3 is so fucking complicated. Come on. And that they dropped the ball there, but I had to, I paid $60 for it. I got to finish Inferno, so I dropped it for like 4 months. But the point is, I go back and I'm like, can somebody fucking help an old guy figure this shit out? And there's fucking 20, I'm sure 12-year-olds on there going, oh, just get this item, this, and here's how you do it. Here's a YouTube for it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm looking at these guys helping me on this thread and thanking them thank you very much to the D3 community for being so gracious, helping an old guy out. But, this is pretty awesome that they're able to create this content. And, I heard AJ downstairs the other day, my son Ace, is sitting there talking. I'm like, who are you talking to? And he goes, like, nobody, I'm practicing for my stream when you get me a stream. He's down there making a Minecraft video and just practicing the video. And, I think that's just amazing. That's a really good thing. And I think that, a lot of people want to jump on immediately on the negatives of video gaming.
Yeah, no, there's so many positives.
Yeah, well, for Christ's sake, every time there's a shooting, and look, I'm a NRA member. I own 2 handguns. I own a lot of guns. Let's put it that way. I know you own guns, Gandhi, but
Well, that kind of goes without saying.
Yeah, we were looking at Remingtons together after we left Duck Dynasty. We wanted to go duck hunting, but and typical me, I'm like, I'm just gonna pay the guy. True story. All right, real quick. True story. So I see this show Duck Dynasty, and I don't know how many of you guys have seen Duck Dynasty, but it's a fucking great show. It was a little contrived during season 2 and 3, but I think they brought it back in.
Yeah, season 1 was good. Season 1 was really good.
So it's about this family, and they have this duck call business that the father started, and
Phil.
Yeah, Phil. And Phil actually played college football, and Bradshaw was got to show off my Steelers shirt. Bradshaw was a backup to him, but anyway. So we're watching Duck Dynasty, and I call Gandhi. I'm like, you gotta fucking see this show. And don't worry, I'm gonna tie this back into the topic. You watch how I bring this bitch right back around. So I said, Gandhi, you got to see this. So Gandhi and I, of course, say we want to go duck hunting now after watching these shows. And Gandhi's like, well, shit, I know how to do this already. But typical me, I just want to pay somebody to get me near the ducks because I am not going to invest 4 fucking years of trying to practice and all this shit. Like, I would love to. I don't have the time. I'll totally go duck hunting. Just, here's some money.
He wants to get on a fucking tour, right? So all he has to do is literally walk out to the blind, someone calling the ducks for him, and then he shoots.
Right. So, we want to go duck hunting. So I just wanted to go ahead and say, hey, man, line me up with some ducks. But, having said all this, that, we're gun aficionados, we own weapons, every time I see a school shooting and the NRA jumps out and starts to play video games, it grates my mind.
Dude.
Because it's such a fucking stupid... If that were the truth, then there would be mass homicides all the time.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Our kids grow up playing fucking G.I. Joe. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Like, it's no fucking different.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I mean, yeah, okay, okay, maybe it's more graphic or whatever, but it's not causing kids to go out and shoot up the fucking schools.
No, the big story is, and I forget who said it, is that we have a gun problem disguised as a drug problem. Or a drug problem disguised as a gun problem. That's ticket.
It was Joe Rogan that said we have a mental health problem.
That's ticket.
Described as a gun problem, and that's true.
It is. What is it? I saw the stat the other day. It was like 1 in every 9 Americans are on antidepressants. And then like another one was like no, I'm not hating on that, but that seems like a fucking lot, right? And then I saw another one.
You should hate on it because it's bullshit.
And then I saw another one where it was 1 in every 11 people are on SSRIs. And so here's a story about SSRIs. So my mom, she has this.
What's an SSRI? Let's start there.
It's a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. So it basically I don't fucking know.
Wait a second. Serotonin's a good thing. You want to get a lot of that shit
going.
Yeah,
well, it blocks. It basically blocks out the receptor. So you have your neurotransmitters, you have your axon.
Oh, so that's called.
You have your axon right here and your dendrites, right?
So it's ecstasy.
No, dude, it's not fucking.
Well,
okay, so look. So what it does is it basically.
Wrong here, but I saw one of those don't do drug things on YouTube once, and it had the receptors for the serotonin, and it said that ecstasy blocks that shit, so the serotonin just keeps bouncing.
Okay. So listen. So no. So that's like when you come. So when you come down off of ecstasy, what happens is you're happy. I forget what the. Not neurons. I forget what it's called. Your happy things that are supposed to fit in the dendrites, they don't reset. They don't. Fuck. I need my brother for this. Basically what happens is they stay in there, right? But so what an SSRI is it's just blocking one pathway. So for my mom, what it does is it blocks just one passageway, and that's her worrying. So she has a disease where, if she worries too much, she'll like break out in hives and shit. And so,
with a son like you, fuck, no wonder. Go ahead.
And so, so then like the doctor, I go with the mom to the doctor. And he's like, all right, well, here's SSRIs. And I basically have an associate's. I'm like 12 credits away from associates in psychology. And so I know about SSRIs. I know they're fucking awful for you. Unless you like really fucking need them. And then in which case they work wonders, right? Okay. And so he goes, swear to God on my life. He goes, all right. I was like, well, SSRIs, that's going to cause depression and suicidal thoughts, right? He was like, yeah, it's got a tendency to do that, but the big thing is if she ever takes them, make sure you're around her, or else, something bad could happen. I was like, what the
Who would take this?
fuck? And I literally, like, my mom's never taken them, right? And I was like, Moms, just, you need to do your own thing here. Like, just try to not worry. I mean, she's still gonna fucking worry, right? But like, I'm not having my mom be all drugged up on SSRIs. Like, literally on the bottle. Like, if you Google, like, I can get the prescription. I can tweet it. If you Google the prescription, like, it'll say like suicidal thoughts. Like Chantix. You remember that drug they gave smokers to quit?
Mm-hmm.
Chantix. Suicidal thoughts is the first one. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, I don't even know how a drug plants a thought in your mind. That's scary enough. But, doctors are they're ready prescription people right now. I mean, they're ready for you anytime. I'll never forget. This is a true story, too. And nobody's going to care because this is an esports podcast. I'm going to tell it anyway because I don't give a shit.
That's how it works, buddy.
I went in for a yearly physical, and I was real competitive at golf at the time. And I told the doctor, I said, there's a rumor that Tiger Woods is on beta blockers. And what beta blockers did is it actually blocks the beta receptor to your heart, so you don't have a super fast heartbeat. It corrects any type of arrhythmia or anything that would happen with your heart. So what happens is if you get overcharged or super excited or adrenaline, like over a money putt, like this putt's worth $100, I better make it. You get nervous. Well, it keeps your heart rate dead normal. So, I mentioned to the doctor, I said, yeah, there's a rumor he's on beta blockers. It makes him golf real good. He goes, you want some? I'll write you a script. Hand to God, the guy wrote me a script for beta blockers. Nothing wrong with my heart. Nothing wrong with my heart.
Well, dude,
and this is an old school doctor. This doctor's like 80 years old. I'm like, man, this guy came from the old school. This guy came from don't even take vitamins, just eat healthy. You know what I mean?
They used to give people opium. Like, opium was like a drug for everything. It was like, oh, you got a headache? Here's some opium.
Well, hey.
Like, 80 years old, that's like when my pops was growing up, that's like what his granddad would fucking hand out was opium, right?
But, I mean, it blew my mind. And there was the whole drug thing. I mean, D-Mac said it really good, talking about Ritalin. The Ritalin?
It's Adderall now.
Adderall, I'm sorry.
Adderall's the big one.
I apologize. And
let's talk about Adderall for a bit after this, too. So
yeah, no, let's get into it. I mean, it's bullshit. Don't do it. It's retarded.
But continue.
What's wrong with you going to take a drug to make you have a seizure and all that shit? Are you stupid? Like...
Hey, so let me ask you something, because I think it's something that all like the Halo guys are always interested to know. Is Adderall, and I know you know, and I don't want names or anything, but is Adderall making its presence known in like StarCraft and League of Legends?
No.
Really?
I want to say something funny, but I can't because somebody at some point will take it out of context,
yeah.
And right, it'll be stupid. But no.
Really? Not ever. Like no one's even.
I'm not going to say never, but it's not it's not even an underground epidemic. I don't think.
Dude, it seems like fucking counterproductive to me. If in a game, like wouldn't it make
sense? Whoa! I'm sure it would probably work. I mean, you have laser sharp focus, right?
Yeah. It stimulates the fuck out of your frontal lobe, like just. Like the main problem like that a lot of people have with people who are on Adderall and Halo is like communication, but like StarCraft, you don't even have to fucking talk to anyone, right? Like you just zone out.
I think part of the thing, and somebody hit on it actually, Plan B said it, is, it went from college to gaming, but think about that. It's not a big jump. Everybody in college plays video games, so it's not hard to kind of get out and get ahead of that. But I mean, I think if you look at StarCraft, maybe it's the fact that nobody goes to college to play StarCraft. I don't know. And at least I haven't heard, and I would say if I did, but I haven't heard of anything. But, if it does, I think it's like wildfire. Like, if one player had success with it.
Oh, for sure. That's all it takes.
Like, let's take a foreigner just started just raping. I'm sorry, I can't say that word in that context. Let's just say I started winning against Koreans, right? If a player started winning against Koreans that was a foreigner that was using it, they'd all use it. I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
A lot of them use it.
I'm just always surprised. Then, like, the thing is about it is, like, MLG's, like, a league is never gonna fucking test for it, right? Like, there's...
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I absolutely can see...
They would have to do exactly what, like, they would have to get... They would have to randomly sample 10% of the competitors because, dude, there's an open bracket too, right? Like they have to get a sample of every single person.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Look, we're not.
They would have to do like 10% of the people, and that's like, and even still, like that's gonna cost money. I mean, it's got to get to that point anyways because, I mean, like Adderall's making it splash in like the NFL. Like it's like banned in there now. Like it's because it gives you like. It's like, I think it's the carryover for muscle is like 11%, or you get like 11% gains on like your speed and your strength. So it's like, it's a fucking crazy thing. And the funny thing is when I went,
I might be illegal if I was 11% faster. I might get pulled over.
Yeah, your walk may actually turn into a slight jog.
You don't get this heavy walking anywhere.
No, you don't.
Running anywhere, jogging anywhere.
No. Segways, man. They made them for a reason. I could see you as a Segway guy, in like your shirt and tie with slacks.
I would love to try to make that Segway work, but I don't.
I don't trust them.
I don't see it working. Well, you heard the guy that invented it went off the cliff, right?
What? What?
Yeah, like. Internet, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think the guy that invented it, they say he didn't know where he was going, and he was at his house or whatever, and he went off-roading, and his house was like, it had one of those, the special tires, and he drove off a cliff with his invention, and I'm not buying it for a second. I think he took the cliff with his invention on purpose.
That makes sense. Dude, the main thing with a lot of people, and like I've noticed it even in gamers, like a lot of the people who are like most successful, right, or end up being like they're a little fucking mental.
They're a little crazy, man.
They are.
I can attest to this firsthand a little bit myself, for sure.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit mental, because like Einstein was probably like 3 steps away from swallowing a shotgun.
Who?
Einstein.
Oh, if you had a mind like that and you had to live with a bunch of retards like us, I would too.
Think about that, though.
You're stuck on Earth with a bunch of idiots.
Like Nietzsche
really?
Or Nietzsche. Whenever that guy's a fucking lunatic, right? But he was a genius.
Tell me, this Plan B guy is the shit in chat. Like he said, the guy who invented eHarmony had his wife leave him for a guy she met on eHarmony. If that is true, burn, son. Like...
Imagine.
You aren't my soulmate. I found my soulmate on the site you invented.
By the way...
I'd be like, ha, 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 bitch, that's okay because I'm rich. Wow.
Yeah, but don't worry. Even though she left you, she would still get half of everything you're worth.
Oh, that is a mother beast thing. Let me tell you right now.
How the fuck do women get away with that shit?
I got lucky. Twice.
Yeah?
2 times.
How do you get lucky? I thought it was like set in stone that you're just, it's like rest in pieces.
I had amassed everything before my first marriage.
Sneaky.
So it's only from the time you're married on. And if you get divorced within the first 6 months, you're good. So,
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're worried that it's going to fail, end that motherfucker before sex.
Yeah. If you're like, hold it. Things aren't... Listen, guys, let me give you the best advice I can give you when it comes to women. Because...
You've been there.
I've been there. Trust me.
You've done that.
A lot of them. Don't get married till you're 30. That's number 1. Don't fucking do it. Don't get married till you're 30. If you get married and shit starts to change fast, and this person that you dated for like 6 years you think you knew starts to change into somebody that you don't even recognize, forget about counseling. Forget about fucking therapy. Get a fucking lawyer. You know why the joke's true. You know why divorce is expensive? Because it's worth it. Get out of that shit before year 1.
Is it really like that black and white, though? Is it really, like, because,
Dude, I am going to tell you right now,
like,
what you see on TV, it is that black and white. Stupid guys, and I was one of those stupid guys that went out and paid, never mind, for a diamond for his wife. Way too much. Let's just say that. I don't want to even embarrass myself. Way too much. Now, this wife, well, she deserved it. And I love you, honey, and you're the best. You haven't changed a bit.
You actually
Save me. Sorry, go ahead.
You actually proposed to her at an esport event. You actually proposed to her at MLG.
I did.
That's so cute. You cute. But so like, because like the big thing is like, when everyone talks to chicks, right? And then like when you end up dating them, like the fucking gloves come off, right? Like after a little bit. So you're saying like as soon as
It's not
like
gonna get better, is what I'm saying. I promise
it
you.
only gets so like, but what you're making it sound out to be, it's like as soon as you fucking finish the honeymoon, it's like the gloves come off, and then the mask, and then the shell they were wearing comes off.
But you don't see it. Sometimes, like, your friends and family will see it first, and then they warn you, and you don't want to listen to them because you fucking know better. Because you have dumb relatives. You have that dumbass cousin that never got anything right, being like, "Yo, I don't think she's the one, bro. Like, brah, you need to re-examine your life." And and I'm like, you can't find a bathroom in your own house. How are you going to tell me what's going on? Those are like, you need to listen to your family. Like, that's another important thing, is listen to your family when it comes to the women.
It's really that bad, though, huh?
It is that bad, man. I'll tell you right now, like, marriage can be a nasty, fucking brutal. It can be great and wonderful, but it can also be brutal and nasty. I mean, it's well, you know the story with maybe you don't know the story.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, that was, and I didn't even mind it. Like, I was like, okay.
Oh yeah. Actually, we learned this story over a Twisted Treeline game.
Oh, we did? Yeah, well, hey, look, don't get upset if anybody cheats on you, man, because you couldn't have done anything about it anyway, right? Like,
yeah,
they're gonna go to that way. Hey, it ain't worth. I was happy. I was like, okay, look, we're golden. You go. I got my stuff. You got your stuff. Deuces.
Yeah.
Well,
dude, people fucking eat themselves up over that shit, and they're like, "Oh, it's on me. Like, what the fuck did I do wrong? Maybe I would have done this better." And they fucking crawl back to this person. It's way more. It happens more often with women than men, right? Like, women always fucking crawl back to their exes, and guys are just like, "What are you fucking high?" Like, people don't change, but like
people don't change. But what happens is, like, it's the same thing every time with an ex-girlfriend, and maybe you've experienced this. I know I have. But you meet them again at a party, or you run into them, at whatever, and you go back to step one. Y'all remember step one? Everybody knows step one.
You love it.
Yeah, step one is, oh, hey, how you doing? You put your best foot forward. You know what I mean? It's Jekyll and Hyde, right? You put your best foot forward, and everything's nice, and you start dating again, and you do the same things you did before you know it. You're back together, and everything's good.
Everyone fucking hates each other.
Everybody's having fun. And then, slowly but surely, you creep back into what made you break up the first time.
Yep. And she stops, like, fucking sucking your dick, and you're just
hey,
fuck.
That's the worst. And that stuff is true, too. I mean,
it just fucking ends.
That happens to certain men. Like, there is no doubt.
What, I forget what we were fucking talking about. Oh, dude, I want to talk to you about this. Have you stepped foot into a DreamHack event? Have you been to a DreamHack? Oh, my God,
dude. So, actually, I have to do it. I got to do it.
I watched their production. Their
production is money, yo.
They have the best production in the business.
They actually do, and I love MLG very much. And MLG's not far off. But,
dude, that venue.
Yes, DreamHack's got the venues, man. Like, they are pretty.
They make everyone their bitch. But like, what's the deal with DreamHack, man? Like, are they like all that in EU, or like, because I know like Artosis, I think, went out to the DreamHack event, right?
Yeah, Artosis flew out. Yep.
And
and murdered it.
Yeah, and relax, we get it. You're his agent.
No, but I would have said that regardless.
I know you actually have a humongous crush on him, so it's kind of funny. But like, is DreamHack, like, what's their like plan? You know what I mean? Like, are they trying to?
Recently, they were actually not selected to be part of the WCS.
Okay.
Blizzard selected ESL instead, which at the last minute I think it changed. Gotcha. Which kind of blew my mind. But eventually, I think evidently, like, DreamHack, about having a studio, not having a studio, I don't know. All I know is it doesn't matter because I don't give a shit about WCS. Like, it's a great event, and it's going to be a fantastic finals, and I love that Blizzard's doing it, but it's not going to make me not watch DreamHack, because DreamHack's the shit. Like, honestly, and that's what goes back to what I was saying, like, when you talk about having a U.S. Open and that being the MLG, and then having a British Open and that being DreamHack, that's what it could be. I mean, it's really, really good shit, man. They got their shit together over there. Love DreamHack. Always.
Yeah, I just want to go there, man. I want to get out of fucking America.
Well, I want to. Yeah,
I'm afraid that dude. I always tell everyone this. I'm afraid that if I left, like, I would have a hard time coming back.
No.
I think I would, man. Like, I love America. Like, I love my house. I love my area. I love my friends. But dude, like, I feel like Britain, or not Britain, but like, I feel like Europe is just like the shit. Who are you typing to right now? I can hear you thumping away.
Sorry.
And if you're typing to me.
I was looking up why you would rather live in America than... Oh my God, dude. I have to know Plan B. He just quoted my favorite line. It's right out of fucking South Park. You don't like, you can get it. You don't like?
I'm just saying, dude, like, I'm just
saying, America.
It's not. It is not the fact that America. It's not the fact that America sucks. It's just that I think Europe would be fucking amazing.
Well, the women are a lot easier.
Women are easier.
There's something to be said for easy.
I've got to think. The Guinness is better.
Of course.
Obviously.
You know what? Let's just end this here before you start talking me into wanting to go there. So yeah, no. I mean, I would love to get to a DreamHack. I'm sure I'll be at a DreamHack. Hopefully, the next DreamHack, if it doesn't conflict with Korea. But
now I'm gonna end this show with the topic that I know you can fucking knock out of the park. All right, so right now, everyone, flights fucking are high. The economy kind of sucks, but sometimes it's good. It's fucking this weird Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, right? Like, people forget like how fucked the economy is in certain places, right? But so, like, let's say because my demographic is people 16 to like 24 in the Halo scene, right? What advice would you give if they're seeking out to try to get someone, right, to like cover their flight or to cover their hotel, like to travel around to actually compete and do what they love? Like, what kind of advice would you give them? Like, would it be like, send the same email to like 100 fucking companies? Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, what do you got for them?
All right.
If anything. Because, your approach is a lot different, you know what I mean? And I don't want to, I was just wondering if you have any advice for them.
Yeah, call me, and I'll get you a gig. Like, if you're good enough and you want to go.
Well, no, I'm talking just, let's call like that.
You mean like
they're doing it on their own.
You're on your own. Okay. In all seriousness, I'm just joking anyway. Yeah, I mean, here's my advice. So, first thing you want to do is you want to get a resume about yourself. It's something we call a deck. Get that deck all together. And then what that is going to have is a list of your achievements and what you're about. And I can tell you right now, man, you don't even have to win tournaments. I mean, look at In Control. What was the last tournament he won? One of the most entertaining people out there.
Did he actually ever win a tournament?
Look, does it matter?
No, it doesn't.
That's my point. Like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this. And you don't have to be. You just have to market yourself. I mean, even that crazy kid, what was his name from Halo? The crazy one.
Dude, he actually, I think,
Obama.
Huh?
That opened his own Twitch house was going to be the next shit in
everything. Dude, fucking relax with the Boss Nasty, son.
Boss Nasty, kid.
Don't you fucking dare even utter his name.
Sorry, just did it. But I'm just saying, like,
if he gets a sponsor before me, I'm going to kill myself. He's delusional, man. Come on.
He's quite delusional. I mean, he would make a scary politician. He's in the wrong line of business. He should be a senator because he could fuck this country up just as good as the rest of them. Promise that.
Dude, I remember someone once said...
man right there in chat saying, can you prove it? Can you prove it? Can you prove it?
I wanted to fucking...
Who the fuck cares about proving shit? This isn't about proving anything.
I would have loved to tell that guy.
Mountain analogy. You got the guy that looks at the mountain every day, studies it, knows everything about that mountain. I use this in my shit. I stole this shit from you.
I know you did because it was fucking brilliant.
It was brilliant. And then you got the guy that climbs that mountain every day. Who are you going to climb the mountain with? Well, I'm going up with the guy that fucking climbs it every day.
You can fucking observe.
AKA, what the fuck has Boss Nasty done?
I think what was that fucking, what was it, Command and Conquer? No, not Command and Conquer. It was like... something bad for a day. I don't know. Some shit fuck game that he probably won like $100 for, right? And he's like, well, if you can't prove it, then it's all just false. And I was like, motherfucker.
It's not about that. But
Who
anyway, like what it
cares?
boils down to is like, look, say what you want about the kid. He was running a little bit of game for himself. You know what I mean? Like he was hustling a little bit there. But like I think with some people, once that hustle runs out, it kind of keeps going in a different direction. You try different stuff, but like you really got to stick to it. So that would be my second piece of advice: is just don't give up, man. Stick to it and pay those dues, baby. You got to pay the dues.
Now,
And if
do you think?
do,
Do you think, like, obviously, like, my voice has been established now for about 2 years, like, my persona, everything, and I don't even remember, like, dating back, but, like, dating back to even think about it, but do you think it's better to just appeal to, like, whatever niche you first get up and running with? Do you think it's just best to keep on to fucking that? Or do you think it's good to, like, test the waters of other shit? You know what I mean? Like trying new things, or do you think that just is like
that is such a hard and good
dude?
question.
Because the thing
That
is, it's
really
like
is.
it's it's a double-bladed sword, right? Because
Yeah.
in the one side, you're gonna have your core audience who's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is awesome, right? And then you try something new, and they're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Who does he think he is, right? Like this isn't what I like. I'm not a fan of this. But then on the other side, you may appeal to new people. Like it's such a tough one, man.
It is a tough one, and I think what you're going to see in the future is you're going to see all kind of esports personalities turn to different games and broadcasting. It's not going to be this guy just does StarCraft. It's going to be this guy does StarCraft and